All the work we've done up until now doesn't matter if people don't want to buy your product. If you have resources to spare, you can keep things secret, manufacture the product, and hope it sells. But most people and companies don't work that way. Typically, you will need to validate and then refine your product idea. A good example of this is the SwitchPod. It's a product designed specifically for video bloggers. The creators knew video bloggers had a problem recording themselves. There were some solutions, but the existing solutions would sometimes fail and the cameras would fall over. Not good when video recording equipment costs thousands of dollars. So they had a small audience who had a specific problem. They started by making a cardboard cutout. They used this to get an idea of how big their product should be, and then they started to get feedback from close friends. Then they started 3D printing different types of plastics and showed off the prototype at video blogging events. They asked people, would you buy this? How much would you be willing to pay? How does it feel? And would you prefer any colors or textures? And they learned a few things. Some people wanted different colors, but how many customers would they lose if it only came in black? In the end, they decided to only make the black model since it would increase production costs quite a bit to offer multiple colors. They also learned that some people do want video stands that can wrap around objects, but most people want to hold their camera or place it down. They'd have to come up with an entirely new product to solve this third need, and not everyone needs it. And there's already a ton of competition that makes those flexible camera stands. What we're really talking about here is product development. We're iterating on our idea to make sure that people are willing to buy it, how much they'd pay, and only including the features that will make the product sell. When you're doing product development or validation, you have to get outside your bubble. You need to ask people outside of your friends and family. They might be good for that first very rough prototype, but beyond that, you have to get validation from people who don't know you, because those people won't say something just to spare hurt feelings. There's 3 types of validation, and they all have very different values. The first is monetary. Is someone willing to pre-order your product? That's the best type of validation. Kickstarter is a type of pre-order where people are willing to buy your product months or years before they'll hold it in their hands. The second is an email or contact information saying they'd be willing to buy it when it's available. If you've never built a product before, you might assume that 80 to 90% of people on a newsletter will buy your product, but it's much closer to 2 to 5%. This depends a lot on where and how you collect email addresses. If you go to local events and people see you in person, it could be as high as 20%. But as soon as you're reaching out to people online that you've never met before, that percentage quickly drops. That means if you need to get 100 pre-orders, you might need 2,000 emails. The third is a verbal commitment. This is very low value unless you personally know them. If they aren't willing to give you some sort of way to alert them where and when to buy the product, they probably aren't going to buy. So let's say you're thinking about launching a store, and you can only get 20 people to pre-order your product. That's probably a sign the product isn't quite ready, or you're targeting the wrong audience. In the product development lifecycle, this is actually a great result. Learning this far ahead of the time that your product might not work is a gift. You can keep iterating on the product to find the essential features, the right price point, the right audience, and the right messaging, and then try again. It's better to vet 3 product ideas and only move forward with one than to half-heartedly vet a substandard product, invest thousands of dollars, and take years to earn that money back.